Greetings, Warrior fans from the Hanson Fieldhouse. I'm Sports Information Director Mike Stetson. I want to thank you for joining us for another of the Warrior Weekly shows. This week, we're talking softball. As the seasons are ready to start, believe it or not, snow on the ground and all, as the ladies of summer will be heading to the Briar Cliff Charger Dome Invitational this coming weekend. So we sit down with Lexy Determan and talk about the upcoming season, players to watch, and what she thinks of this year's squad. We're also going to sit down with Kaden Verdin, senior men's basketball player. Kaden's closing in on a rare milestone at any level for any player. Going to break the 1,000-point career mark sometime in the next few weeks. Could be this weekend as he's 25 points away. Talk to Kaden a little bit about this way the season's going, his career milestones, and looking at the future for him. I want to thank you fans for joining us, and now it's time for the Warrior Weekly Show. Thank you for joining us for this week's Warrior Weekly. This week, despite the inch of snow that's on the ground, we're ready to talk spring sports. So we've got Lexy Determan here, ready to talk softball. The ladies will hit the field for unofficial season openers this weekend, going down to play at the Briarcliff Charger Dome Classic. If there's a dome, I understand also. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Yeah, no problem.
First off, how excited are you to get the season started this weekend?
Very. The challenge of spring sports in Iowa is always practicing inside and being in domes and being indoors, and I think we're excited to spread out a little bit at the dome and get away from our inside, so it'll be great.
I know there's been several warm days the last few weeks. Have you guys had a chance to be on an actual field, get some depth perception, get some feel for the game?
We haven't snuck outside yet. The best we've gotten is in the Fieldhouse gym, so we have a little more room to spread out there. But other than that, we've been inside. So
talk about how much of a challenge is that? I mean, people probably think, well, you know, you're hitting and that's the same, and you're pitching, that's the same, but just the routine of the game, I mean, fielding balls, getting in a flow as a team is completely thrown off.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot with the girls, kind of acknowledging the elephant in the room. Obviously, outfielders get ripped off, middle infielders get, you don't have enough room to move and stuff like that, but I think it's something that the girls just, so many of them have been doing it for so long that I think we just all understand that that's just how it has to be, so.
And it seems like it's kind of an even playing field. I know some schools, they have that, but they go and they play in Arizona or California or something like that, and they're on the field year-round. Yeah. At least around here, you're playing teams that face the same challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do talk about that a lot as well, and we try and hit the defense really hard in the fall and then come back to our offense and hitting when we get inside, and we're kind of stuck inside.
Talk about this year's team. I know the preseason poll comes out, and it dubs you guys an underdog. I think picked 6th in the league. Is that motivation for this team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the girls feel like we have a lot of unfinished business, so they're ready to prove people wrong. Definitely, I know that makes me want to prove people wrong, and I think the girls are. I don't even think they look twice at it. They're like, whatever. They don't know who we are. They don't know what we've got this year. So.
Well, everybody knows that everything preseason is very accurate. You can't argue with all the preseason stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the team. Let's start with the returners. I mean, you bring back an All-American. You bring back a lot of players from last year's team. How excited are you about who you return and who will be impact players?
Yeah, we've got 7 seniors this year. We had one girl that had surgery, but she's still going to be a huge part of the team as far as being in the dugout, being motivation, good stuff like that. But all 7 of our seniors are going to be, we have 2 pitchers that are seniors, McKenna and Kaylee Brindley are both pitchers, so they're going to be a huge role. And then obviously Kennedy was our All-American last year, who's returning. And then Yeah, I'm always bad at this because I'm terrible with mentioning all their names and everything, but all 7 of our seniors are seriously going to have a huge role in our team this year. So.
Let's go around the diamond. You mentioned Kennedy offensively. She was a huge impact player. Where will she play, and will she have the same kind of impact? It's been really fun this year. Danielle and I have talked a lot about different lineups defensively, and we're really in a position where we can put anybody anywhere defensively. So it's kind of a toss-up defensively. Obviously, Kennedy's going to be a huge part of our offense again. I think this year we'll have a little more to help her out around her. So hopefully we can really settle in. Defense is kind of just going to be who's hitting well that day, because I really do feel comfortable putting anybody out there defensively. So. Okay, so you dodged that question. So let's go on to middle infield. That's always a huge factor in baseball or softball. Who do you see at second and short, and is that a pretty strong area?
Yeah, definitely. We have Hattie Hupke. She's another one of our seniors who's returning. She has started at shortstop both my years here, and I think she started as a freshman here as well at second base, I believe. But she's a huge impact. She's been our leadoff hitter. I foresee that happening again, and she's got great range. After so many games last year, I get so many compliments like, hey, your shortstop did a great job. So that's nice to know that she'll be back there.
How about in the outfield? Starters penciled in, or are you still looking at a different group of girls?
Yeah, we our outfield has always been an interesting case for us, because that's kind of just the last few hitters that need to be out there. We have Taylor Bell. She's been competing at center field. She's one of our seniors as well. She's a slapper, super fast. And then we have Taylor Navarachel, who started probably almost all of our games last year as a freshman in right field. I foresee that happening again. She's also a slapper. So I think that'll be a fun challenge to find that third person who can settle in there, who can settle in with their bat and can settle in defensively.
Sounds like a good mix too, speed and power. Will this team look to do a little bit of everything, or will it be depending on the game? You may play small ball, you may play for the 3-run homer.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I'm really excited about, and that it will be a fun challenge for me, is that we have the potential to have 4 slappers in our lineup starting. So that's awesome, and that is being a freshman, a sophomore, and 2 seniors. So, I mean, that's a huge thing that we can build off of. But we also have girls that are going to be great pinch hitters sitting in the dugout. If we do end up with 4, I know I have a pinch hitter in the dugout who could come out and hit that home run if we needed it. So I think that that's one thing I'm really excited about, is we will have a lot of different options, depending on the day and depending on the pitcher and things like that. So.
Talking about pitching, you said you have the 2 seniors returning. Is there pretty good depth, and is it a power pitching staff, or is it a location pitching staff?
We're going to do some different things with our pitching staff. We have Kaylee and McKenna returning. They both have seen the ropes. They've both been through this process, for 4 years now. So I'm definitely going to rely heavily on them. And then we have Jess. She's a freshman. So she came from California all the way out to the middle of Iowa. So we're going to have to give her a few lessons in the cold weather before we can really see what she's got going on. But I think that we're probably going to be a little bit of pitch by committee, but I think all 3 of them are ready for that challenge. They're ready to just, however many innings you need me, I'll just go out and get it done.
I know in terms of pitching, especially at this level, if you have that dominant pitcher, it can take your team a long way. But at the same time, you can't throw out the same person every time, because they make adjustments. So it's got to be nice having a variety of arms that can do that.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really unique about this conference in general, is playing everybody 4 times in a row, essentially. So yeah, you can't just rely on one person to just do all of the work. So I think it'll be good for the pitchers. We've talked a lot with the catchers as well as how are we going to mix up pitches. Our pitchers look so different. McKenna relies heavily on her drop and her changeup, and Kaylee relies heavily on her rise ball and her curve ball. So it's going to be kind of fun to see how the catchers can work with that, and where Jess is going to fit in with that as well.
You talked about one of the newcomers at the pitcher's position. Who are some of the other newcomers you think will have an impact, crack the starting lineup, or be those kind of players you're going to be looking to contribute?
I should have printed off my roster, because I know I'm going to forget people. Brinley Gibbs has been doing very well. She's one of those people that could potentially be a starter for us as a freshman. especially she's a slapper. She's got good speed. She knows the game really well, and she is just the type of slapper that, she can either hit it or slap it, and she knows in what situation to do what. We also have Peyton Aronson. She's a transfer, but she's only a sophomore. She'll probably be seeing quite a bit of time at third base. She hits left-handed, so that'll be a power lefty to put in with all those slappers. Will be a lot of fun to see how that all works out. And then Lauren Hine is another transfer from Iowa Lakes that will probably rely heavily on her bat as well.
Talk a little bit about the league. Like we mentioned, you picked sixth. The two teams that battled for the conference title, I think it was Bellevue and Jamestown.
Yep.
They were picked 1 and 2. So how do you stack up? Will you be in the race for that title?
I think that we have done some really cool things. We've beat ranked teams. We've beat like Valley City and things like that. So I think that this year will be a lot of fun. Jamestown's kind of always had our number since I've been here. Bellevue kind of has too, but we've hung with Bellevue. So I think it'll be really fun to see because we will have so many new people and so many people who haven't really played against them that they don't know that until they watch this, and now they're going to know that. But it'll be fun to see because I really think that we can compete with the best of them.
So you want me to go online and block all the people?
So yeah, exactly.
Talk a little bit about how the season's going for you guys. You open this weekend, then you're on the road in Minnesota next weekend. A couple weeks from now, you're scheduled to play at home. How is the season shaping up, and who do you like over these first weeks, and what are you trying to accomplish? All that kind of stuff.
Oh gosh.
A very round open-ended question for you.
Well, yesterday at practice, so yesterday was Monday, and we walk in, and it's the third week inside, and usually that's kind of when things start to slow down. But yesterday, walked downstairs, and you could just hear like the buzz in the locker room, and the girls were like, "Oh, it's game week, let's go." So it was super fun to see that. We're gonna go live tonight off of our pitchers, so that's always fun too. We went live on Thursday, and those days are always a toss-up, because you want your pitchers to do well, you want your hitters to do well. So it's always kind of hard because if you hit really well, then you want your pitchers to step up, and but so that was really fun to see on Thursday, and I think our pitchers learned a lot, but our hitters looked really comfortable. I think this is the most disciplined of a team that I have ever coached as far as like in the box and having good at-bats and controlling emotions after maybe you strike out or whatever. So I think it'll be a really good year that way. And the girls get along really well. So I think that the girls do a good job of picking each other up and things like that, which is something that has been a unique experience. I've been on a lot of different teams, and I feel like as a whole this group gets along really well, so I'm really excited.
I know coaches always have that certain style they want to play. Some coaches I adapt to what I have. Other coaches are very set in how they teach their programs and stuff. What kind of coach would you consider yourself?
That's a good question. I am still I've been doing this for 5 years now, but I feel like every year I learn something new. So I think that one of the biggest things is, kind of adapting to everybody's personalities. Everybody was raised so different. Everybody has done things so differently in their life. I feel like I should try and kind of adapt to what's going to work for them. If we could go out all day, every day, and I could play everybody and we could just hit doubles and score runs, just double after double after double, that would be my favorite way to play. But like we talked about, we're going to look a lot different than that this year. So I've had to learn and adapt to that as well.
What is the strength for Lexy Determan when she's coaching? Pitching, hitting, defense?
I was a pitcher, so I feel like the technicalities of pitching, but that also, our pitchers probably also don't like that sometimes because I try to get too far in their heads because I'm like, well, what would I be doing? And how do I think they should react? So I think sometimes they're like, okay, coach, we get it. But I definitely think pitching is my favorite part of the game. But as far as hitting goes, I'm learning a lot, and I love that part of the game too. But to me, hitting is so personal that I'll give you some tips and I'll give you some tricks and we'll talk about how things are going. But it's so mental and so personal that we we kind of focus more on that side of it. Like, well, what are you thinking? What are you looking for? And things like that.
So we should get all the star pitchers to come to Waldorf because they'll get a great experience. And the star hitters can come here too because they'll get to
Leave them alone.
grow and do their own thing and feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, perfect.
That's
there you go.
And then we'll have a winning team that wins nationals every
Sounds
year.
great.
So off to play this weekend. I appreciate you joining us, Coach.
Yeah.
Good luck this season. Tell fans that they should come out to the field. You guys play home games at Forest City High School. You'll have a slew of them coming up. Check the schedule. Late February will be the home openers. So check the schedule to make sure that, weather permitting, games are still on. And come out and support your Warrior ladies as they look for a conference title and to achieve great things this year.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back, fans. We are now joined by Warrior senior Kaden Verdin from the men's basketball team. He's leading the men to a very solid season. The men are in contention for the conference title. And interestingly enough, Kaden himself approaching some milestones. Think about 25 points now away from becoming the third player in Waldorf history to score 1,000 points in his career. It's got to be kind of an exciting milestone.
Yeah, for sure. When I came here, didn't really think too much of the record because I was just coming off of playing baseball my whole life, and so basketball was a secondary sport for me. Just came here for the opportunity because this was my only offer here. So I took the offer and came here with low expectations, just coming from my degree and get a good education. And then once I started playing basketball, I really took off and really excelled. I played behind a great center, Jordy Nelson. Learned a lot of things from him. Then played with Eric Brewer. Learned a lot of things from him too. He's a great scorer. And then it was my time to step up and be a leader. And didn't really think too much going into my junior year that I can reach that milestone. And then coming into my senior year, I knew it was there, but didn't really think I could reach it. And then just like 200 points, I found out that it's possible that I can make it. So yeah, it's great that I can be one of the top 3 to actually break the 1,000 points, and it'd be a big thing for me to do.
Now you guys are going to be on the road this weekend, Dakota State, and who else are you playing this weekend? I can't remember.
Bellevue.
Bellevue. And 25 points is all you have, and you're averaging somewhere around 17 points a game. So likely will happen on the road, which I know for fans is going to be exciting and a huge disappointment, because I know it would be a lot of fun to do it here at the field house and be able to take time out from the game and actually honor you. But the last 4 games of the year at home, the 9th and the 10th, be sure to come out, fans. We'll put together something special to honor Kaden if it happens on the road. And if not, then come on out and cheer him on as he goes for 1,000 in his career on the 9th or the 10th. But we should say also, I think looking at the stats, 24 rebounds away from becoming number 2 all time. And about 80 rebounds shy of being number 1. So if you guys have the kind of season that you'd like to have, you could have the all-time record for rebounds. How exciting is that?
That's pretty exciting. Obviously I didn't think that record was in reach, because when I came in, it was about 350 plus, I think it was. And so I wasn't really thinking about that record, just about the scoring. But now that it's coming up and it's right there in reach, I would like to go for it and try to get as many rebounds as I can and hopefully break that record. For sure get the 2nd place, and from there on try to get that 1st place or try to get close to it. So.
And of course that means good things for the team, because if you're snagging a dozen rebounds a game, that's keeping opponents from scoring, so that's great. with that being said, you mentioned baseball was your top priority coming out of high school. How is it that you didn't end up playing baseball? And I'm sure there's a lot of coaches in the conference that are wishing you had.
Yeah. It was just out of high school, it was just going to go to a JC in my hometown and see what happened from there. And then 2 weeks before school had started for Waldorf and 1 week before my JC had started, one of the assistant coaches here from my freshman year, he had contacted me and said, we have an offer for you and we like to see what you could do and bring to this program. And I wasn't really thinking because it was basketball, and I really wasn't sure about basketball. And so I talked to my parents, we figured it out, and I figured that I should take the opportunity and see what could happen. But my love for baseball was obviously pretty hard to let go, and but it worked out, and basketball is now the top priority, and baseball just had to go.
What position did you play?
I played pitcher and first base. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty good target over at first.
Yeah.
Was it had to be very uncomfortable making the move to college basketball after having, had your plan set to play baseball in college?
Yeah, for sure. Really didn't work out at all for basketball. My summer going up to, I thought I was going to play college baseball. Just worked out the summer and did a lot of baseball drills, played on a travel team, and I actually was in a national tournament for baseball when I got the phone call. I was away from my parents, so that was a big surprise. And but now that basketball is here, I'm glad I took the opportunity, because now I have a good education and a lot of records if I get them for basketball, so it kind of worked out.
So what will you be doing when you get done here? I know a lot of guys think about maybe a professional career, maybe something in Europe or something around the States. Are you thinking that line, or do you think you go out into the business world, so to speak, and get a job with your degree?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. A lot of people have came up to me, especially my coaches, and a couple other players have asked if I have any desires to go overseas, and I just keep telling them if the opportunity comes, then I might take it. But from here, I'm just looking for a career out in the real world and back in California. And my major is criminal justice, but kind of want to go into like a firefighting career. So it's a little different than criminal justice, but we'll see if it works out. But like I said, the overseas, or if somewhere in the States shows some interest, then like I'll probably talk to my parents and see if like that's the right move, or if I should take the opportunity maybe for 1 year or 2 years. So we're still trying to figure that out, but if the opportunities come, I'll sure think about it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think one of the funnest things about watching you, along with the fact that you can shoot the ball and rebound and you're an incredible player, it's when teams double and triple team you, you're such a smart and unselfish player. You make your teammates better by finding the open man, and I think that's the greatest asset for a star player, is when you're not filled with ego and you make your team better like that. So I really appreciated watching you on the court.
Thank you.
Say that's just a great thing. Talk about the rest of the season. You guys, you're 2 games out of first. You're on the road. You've got the home court advantage the last 4 games. You got the top team in the conference, so you're going to play at home. You guys could actually win a title, so this has got to be an exciting time of year.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty exciting. We, at the beginning of the season, for conference play, we went 3-0 when we had our heads together, and we were playing good as a team. And here the last couple of games, we've had a couple people missing, and that really hurt the team. But I think this week we're trying to get the group back together and reset their minds and get them refocused and let them know that we're still in the hunt. And as a senior and a captain and as a leader, everybody looks up to me. So it's my job to like get them back together and just think about what's in front of us and what we could achieve as a program, and be the first one to possibly win the conference title. And so it's a big thing, and it's a big deal to get the guys ready for this weekend. It's a huge weekend. Just Dakota State, if we could beat them, and a big rival, Bellevue. It's real tough to play in that gym, so we got to bring our A game this weekend, and hopefully we can come out 2-0, and then the four-game homestand. That'd be huge for us because that could possibly put us in a good position to maybe host the conference tournament from here on out. And if we do that, I like our chances at home because our crowd's behind us and we get a little bit more pumped up and ready for the game. So come out with a little bit more fight, a little bit more energy, so that'll help us out.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be an exciting weekend this weekend as well as the rest of the way. Appreciate you joining us. Good luck this weekend. We hope you break the record. Like to see you break it Friday night. That would be great. And then we'll get a chance to celebrate and hopefully be celebrating a whole lot of things for the team as well.
For sure.
Appreciate it, Kaden. Thank you so much.